Hi everyone, my name is Ghassan Matni. I'm a cloud expert at Clouder. I am a solutions architect certified and I have many years of experience managing and migrating workloads for customers from different sectors to AWS. I'm going to talk today about Database Migration Service, AWS DMS, which I personally have an experience with, and the Schema conversion tool that is an amazing service that can ease your migration process. If you have any question during the presentation, please feel free to add it in the chat section. In today's agenda, I'm going to brief you about Clouder Managed Services, what we do, what are our services, and how you, as end customers, can benefit from working with a partner to migrate your databases to AWS. Then I'm going to talk about AWS databases, starting with a quick overview, list few security principles, and then I will explain how easily you can migrate your databases to AWS using the DMS service and the schema conversion tool. Clouder is a multi-cloud managed cloud services provider. We are currently an AWS Select partner, targeting to be an advanced partner very soon. We assist our customers in their digital transformation and cloud journey. Starting from a complete understanding and assessment of customer infrastructure, we design our customer platform on AWS, then implement or migrate it to AWS. Clouder 24/7 team will then monitor, backup, and fully manage and optimize the platform. Our commitment to our customers is to maximize the performance on the cloud and minimize the cost. We have worldwide customer footprint and presence in the USA, France, UAE, Qatar, and Lebanon. It is no secret that for decades, enterprise customers have had troubled relationships with their old guard database vendors. The pattern is always the same with all customers I've met. Those databases are expensive, proprietary, designed for lock-in, and come with punitive licensing terms. That's why so many customers have accelerated their migration to AWS cloud databases. They're actually targeting to reduce their capital cost while using the AWS pay-as-you-go model that charges only for the services used, and reducing the operational costs by using AWS Managed Database Services. Most senior IT leaders I speak with follows two strategies when it comes to database migration. Some of them prefer the lift and shift model, that is about migrating your existing apps and databases with its associated data to the cloud with minimal or no changes. And the other strategy, which is more innovative, is to benefit from AWS tools and services to quickly build new apps and databases in the cloud. AWS, in fact, has provided us with the right tools to make this smooth transition. In fact, the lift and shift approach will let customers quickly reduce their infrastructure and operational costs. They are just migrating their on-premise databases to the cloud as is, without the need to refactor their source code. Because of this, customers are trying to move as fast as they can to open source databases like MySQL, Postgres, and MariaDB. Be aware that moving from commercial grade to open source databases is challenging because it requires a lot of tuning to reach the same level of performance and reliability. In this section, in the AWS Database Services, I'm going to list few supported flavors and types before explaining the database migration process using AWS DMS and the schema conversion tool. Briefing you about AWS Database Services, there are different types of supported databases that can answer all your needs. We have the relational databases that comes with two flavors, AURORA and AWS Relational Database Service. There's also the non-relational databases such as DynamoDB, Elastic Cache, and DocumentDB. Each one of these serves different purposes, so depending on your application, you can choose between the above database types. Customers that are running commercial databases such as Oracle and SQL Server on premises often choose to first migrate to Amazon RDS, a fully managed relational database service that can use to run your choice of database engines, including open source engines as well as Oracle and SQL Server. Oracle RDS improves database scale and performance and automates time-consuming administration tasks such as hardware provisioning, database setup, patching, and backups. I also want to talk about Amazon Aurora, which is a relational database built for the cloud. It is compatible with Postgres and MySQL. Amazon Aurora is up to 5 times faster than MySQL and 3 times faster than Postgres. It scales automatically to keep up with your application with enhanced throughput. It also automatically backs up your data and store it in S3 bucket. Moving to data warehouse, AWS Redshift is a cloud data warehouse solution that can be easily implemented. Amazon Redshift is at least 50% less expensive than all other cloud data warehouses. It is also integrated with the data lake, where you can query exabytes of data. So now that we have listed the different databases types and flavors available on AWS, we will talk about AWS Database Migration Servers and the Schema conversion tool. If you have any clarification, please don't hesitate to drop us your question in the chat section. Customers are looking to migrate their databases to the cloud, and it is a common scenario these days. To answer this need, AWS provided us with the right tool to achieve that. You have definitely heard from your database administrators that the migration is a long and complex process, and it takes 1 month at least. Now with AWS DMS, you can do it with few hours. You also have heard that it requires a lot of manual interventions. With AWS DMS, the migration is automated and requires minimal interventions from your database administrators. The process, in fact, is very quick and secure, so you don't need to worry about the complexity and security of the process. With AWS DMS and Schema conversion tool, you can easily migrate homogeneous databases such as Oracle to Oracle, Microsoft SQL to Microsoft SQL, MySQL to MySQL, etc. And the interesting part here is that it also supports heterogeneous migrations between different database platforms, such as Oracle or Microsoft SQL to Amazon Aurora, for example, and many more. Another scenario is the migration of the same database flavor while upgrading to a different version. Database administrators also plan ahead of time the upgrade of a version. So with AWS DMS, it is a very easy process. All you need to do is to connect to your database sources and let the service do the conversion or the upgrade. The AWS Schema conversion tool makes the heterogeneous database migrations predictable by automatically converting the source database schema and a majority of the database code objects, including views, stored procedures, and functions, to a format that is compatible with the target database. Any objects that cannot be automatically converted are clearly marked in the assessment so they can be manually converted to complete the migration. It gives you an assessment report. It will tell you how easy or difficult it is to attempt to do this heterogeneous migration. On the other hand, for homogeneous migrations, it is going to assess the effort for the migration. It will tell you exactly what are the features that you are currently using in your on-premise database and how easy it will migrate all functionalities to AWS. And once the assessment and planning phases are done, the tool will help you automate this conversion. As you can see in this slide, AWS DMS Server supports different sources and targets. We have the big players in the sources like Oracle, Microsoft SQL, the open source databases like MySQL, MariaDB, and Postgres. You can also migrate from Azure SQL database. All of these sources can be migrated or converted to Amazon RDS instances databases or Redshift, for example, for data warehouse purpose, or to DynamoDB. Having this flexibility and this variety of schema conversions, the migration process became very easy and practical. So now customers are not bound anymore to their legacy databases and can easily change and innovate their applications. The database migration is a two-step process. One is you go and prepare the source database. Here we have two scenarios. If your migration is heterogeneous, it copy and convert your schema from the source database or data warehouse and load it into the destination database on AWS. The process will definitely pass by automatic optimizations to support the new engine features. However, on the other hand, if the migration is homogeneous, it copy your schema using native tools to the destination database or warehouse. This was the first step of the migration process. Moving forward to the second step, AWS DMS or Database Migration Service, which is a fully managed service, will migrate your data to the destination database. So, when would you use Database Migration Service? It's all about migration from point A to point B. Do you want to migrate business critical application and you are delaying it because of the database functionalities in the cloud? Are you afraid of having a downtime? Are you afraid to review if all procedures and functions that are built in your on-premise database and make sure they are migrated to the cloud properly and they are properly functioning? You are not finding the time because of your database administrators that have a lot of daily tasks? Then you can use AWS DMS Service to offload all this headache. As I previously showed you, this service supports many types of migrations and supports different engines. The other thing that Database Migration Service does, it's not just about migrating databases to the cloud. It can also do things like schema version upgrade. For example, if you have in your legacy application, you have Microsoft SQL 2008, and as you know, it reached end of life. Then you are planning to upgrade it to a supported version. Then, thanks to the DMS service that will do it on your behalf, and your users will never know that this migration or upgrade occurred. And definitely, if you want to refactor, for example, if you have Oracle database and you want to move to Postgres, you can use Database Migration Service to copy all your data that is saved in the Microsoft SQL Server and upload it to Postgres database. On top of the ability of migrating between the same data stores, you can also move from a relational data store to a non-relational data store. For example, if you have a legacy application that requires non-relational database, like key value oriented, and you want to move to DynamoDB or MongoDB, then you can use DMS to handle the extraction of the data from this relational data store and load it into the non-relational data store. It saves you a lot of time and cost and will enhance the performance of your application. Another use for AWS DMS, how many of you have thought of having a database replication across different locations? With all the incidents that are happening lately, you need to think about a business continuity plan to keep your data saved in different locations. Then DMS service will take care of it. At the end of the day, AWS is giving us the flexibility to choose the right engine for us and provided us with the right tool to convert your schema into other engines. So you are not bound anymore to our old guard vendor. Thank you guys for attending the session. Finally, I would like to announce that Clouder is providing you with a free cloud migration service for a limited time. It's a special promotion done for the purpose of this event. So if you want to benefit from this offer, please download the presentation where you can review the full slides. In addition to that, you can find our services and contact details.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Sharbel Mitri. I'm a Senior Cloud Solutions Architect at WISE. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the available options of hosting your database on AWS. Here is our agenda. I will start with an introduction about WISE, our company. Then, a quick glance about AWS services. Following that, we will be exploring the different database options on AWS, varying from self-managed, managed, to serverless. Also, I will be sharing with you one of our success stories with EXOTICA. And finally, I will be revealing an exciting offer exclusive to the attendees of Conclaves. During this session, if you have any questions, submit them in the Q&A chat box. Please don't forget to download this presentation that will be available at the end of this event. So who are we? WISE is an advanced AWS consulting partner that enables SMBs and large businesses with professional IT and communication solutions. We have a long proven track record in serving the corporate market. By leveraging our expertise in networking, telecommunications, systems, cloud, and data center operations, we are providing holistic solutions for businesses to benefit from the power of AWS. WISE is based in Beirut and is part of the Beni Sayali Group. With more than 2,000 passionate employees, the group counts over 20 companies that are active in various sectors and industries, covering a geographical presence that spans over the MENA region. Within WISE itself, we have more than 60 employees, 15 of them holding AWS certifications, with 5 professional or specialty level, 5 associates, and 5 practitioners, and more certifications coming underway. We provide our customers with a wide range of services and solutions. Our services vary from architecture, migration, security, operation to optimization. Under architecture, our cloud architects design and build solutions that cater to your business needs, as well as carefully develop any application to a cloud-ready state. Within our migration services, certified experts can help deploy and migrate infrastructure and legacy systems to the cloud, while reducing risks, downtime, and required resources. At WISE, we never compromise security. Keeping your application and data secure is a vital aspect of moving to cloud. We make sure your environment is protected with the highest grades of security. Under our operations services, our customers benefit from the expertise of our team to monitor and efficiently manage the infrastructure that runs their applications. Optimizing resources on the clouds involves regular analysis and infrastructure usage. Within the optimization service, we make sure you get the best performance at the optimum cost. In 2020, we have successfully launched more than 20 projects on AWS. The major ones were about migrating different workloads like ERP, CRMs, Active Directory, and much more to the cloud. We also developed and hosted several e-commerce platforms for customers, as well as designed and deployed sophisticated DR and backup solutions. All the projects were achieved by utilizing AWS services and by taking advantage of AWS major benefits like ease of use, flexibility, cost-effectiveness, reliability, scalability, and security, which are constantly available to all AWS users and partners. Currently, AWS is offering over 200 fully featured services. And today, we will be focusing on all the aspects revolving around database. In the following slides, we are going to talk about the different ways of hosting your database on AWS. One of the possible solutions is to use Amazon EC2, or what is called a self-managed database. With this option, you can run your database on your preferred operating system, for example Linux or Windows. Also, you are not limited to specific EC2 types and families. In other words, you can choose the instance size that you prefer. So maybe you need more CPU or more RAM. You will always have the luxury to use the preferred database engine that was running in your own data center, with the option of bringing your own commercial database license. Furthermore, you will be able to use the same instance to host other services. For example, the database engine and web server can both run on the same EC2. Moreover, you are in full control over your database configuration, backups, security, and so on. Going the self-managed path seems to be the fastest way to migrate from on-premise to AWS Cloud, as your IT personnel will keep on working the same way they are used to. However, la vie en rose is not the right expression with this option. Why? In fact, the benefit of moving your database from on-premise to self-managed EC2 is negligible. Your IT personnel are still responsible for the health and performance of your database. They are required to manually patch and upgrade not only the database service, but also the underlying operating system that hosted it. They will be responsible for monitoring the database and the infrastructure in order to pinpoint issues and take corrective measures when needed. Not to forget that taking backups, reliably storing them, and making sure an efficient restore plan is in place when needed is a tedious task. Finally, maintaining a highly available database cluster needs experienced people and sometimes comes at a high price. So why consume the talents in your team by managing the whole system when they can only focus on the database itself? In the end, that's the real value of your application. This being said, AWS offers Amazon Relational Database Service, or RDS, which is a fully managed service provided by AWS that handles many of the tedious tasks of database management. With Amazon RDS, you don't need to install any operating system and spend time installing, configuring, and fine-tuning your database engine. Provisioning a new database becomes very easy. In fact, you only need a few clicks in the AWS console and you're ready to roll. During these steps, you specify the database type, version, instance type, in addition to other options related to high availability, security, backups, and so on. Let's take a look at the database engines available with Amazon RDS. As you can see, with Amazon RDS, we have the freedom to choose between open source and commercial database engines. Also, we can use Amazon AURORA, which is a cloud-native database. More about it in the coming slides. Now that we know what is Amazon RDS, we will describe some of its key advantages. First, there is no need to manually upgrade or patch your database or operating system. So, without any interaction from your side, and without providing internet access to your database, AWS will take care of patching and upgrading your service during a predefined maintenance window. As for the storage, Amazon RDS storage can scale up to 64 TB. Storage scaling is on the fly with zero downtime. Moreover, you don't need to manually back up your database, as AWS takes care of this step also. In fact, the backup occurs during the daily backup window. Automated backups are kept for a configurable number of days called retention period. Your automatic backup retention period can be configured up to 35 days. Another benefit of using Amazon RDS is read replicas. Read replicas are near real-time copies of your database. By using them, you can overcome the limitation of read-heavy database operations. You can create one or more read replicas to serve high-volume application read traffic. Not having direct access to the underlying operating system doesn't mean you are locked out from tuning and optimizing your database engine. DB parameters groups provides granular control and fine-tuning of your database. When it comes to monitoring, you are fully covered with Performance Insights, a great tool that helps you assess the load on your database. Once enabled, Performance Insights allows non-experts to detect performance problems with an easy-to-understand dashboard. Last but not least, high availability using the multi-AZ option. Amazon RDS automatically creates a primary database instance and synchronously replicates the data to a standby instance in a different availability zone. Each availability zone runs on its own physically distinct, independent infrastructure and is engineered to be highly reliable. Moreover, Amazon RDS will generate a unique endpoint for your database, and it will redirect all traffic to the active instance. So, in case of an infrastructure failure, Amazon RDS performs an automatic failover to the standby node so that you can resume database operations in a matter of seconds. Since the endpoint for your database instance remains the same after a failover, your application can resume database operations without the need of manual administrative intervention. Now that we talked about Amazon RDS, we will focus on an engine built for the cloud, Amazon Aurora. Amazon Aurora is a MySQL and PostgreSQL compatible relational database engine that combines the speed and availability of high-end commercial databases with the simplicity and cost-effectiveness of open-source databases. As for the performance, Amazon Aurora is up to 5 times faster than standard MySQL and 3 times faster than standard PostgreSQL database. When it comes to storage, Amazon Aurora uses a cloud-native database architecture and focuses on compute and storage separation. Amazon Aurora automatically maintains 6 copies of your data across 3 availability zones and will automatically attempt to recover your database in a healthy availability zones with no data loss. Furthermore, Amazon Aurora volumes automatically grow as the amount of data in your database increases. In fact, an Amazon Aurora volume can grow to a maximum size of 128 TB. Amazon Aurora is the only relational database that could automatically scale horizontally without hassle. That is, it gives you the possibility to add reader nodes called read replicas to cope with the increased loads on the database. When the load decreases, Aurora Autoscaling removes unnecessary replicas so that you don't pay for unused provisioned nodes. Another revolutionary feature of Amazon Aurora is Aurora Multi-Master. With Amazon Aurora, you can have a multi-master database, which means you are no longer limited to one writer node. In fact, you can have up to 4 nodes with read-write capability within multi-AZ. This enables uptime-sensitive applications to achieve continuous write availability through instance failure. Looking for more availability? Aurora Global Database is the answer. Aurora Global Database replicates writes in the primary region with typical latency of less than 1 second to secondary region, allowing low latency global reads. For example, you may choose to run one database in different parts of the world to serve users in those regions. In disaster recovery situations, you can promote any secondary region to take full read-write responsibilities in less than a minute. The last option of running your database workload on AWS is Amazon Aurora Serverless. This gives you more flexibility in terms of scalability. Amazon Aurora Serverless v2 provides the ability to scale database workloads to hundreds of thousands of transactions instantly. Instead of doubling the capacity every time a workload needs to scale, it adjusts capacity in fine-grained increments to provide just the right amount of database resources for the application needs. There is no database capacity for you to manage. Also, you pay only for the capacity your application consumes. This could lead to a 90% savings on your database cost compared to cost of provisioning capacity for peak load. Amazon Aurora Serverless still provides you with the full breadth of Amazon Aurora capabilities. And now, I will walk you through the cloud journey of one of our customers. EXOTICA, a leading provider of first-class floristry and landscape contracting in the Middle East and North Africa, has been running its online flower delivery service since 1999. As a retail floral company, they used to experience a great spikes in orders right before special occasions such as Valentine's Day and Mother's Day, resulting in an overloaded server. In 2019, EXOTICA decided to move to an enhanced and scalable infrastructure on the cloud that would help them adapt with the growing traffic during special events and avoid customer complaints or miss any sales opportunity. For that, WISE and AWS were their definite choice. First, our AWS certified experts designed and implemented a highly available and scalable solution by decoupling the application from the database and enabling autoscaling on the application level. At this stage, we moved from self-managed MySQL to Amazon RDS for MySQL, which helped us bypass the hassle of database administration and focus on the application itself. But this wasn't the end of the story. Now that the application layer was scaling automatically, the database layer became the bottleneck, since, by design, relational databases are not meant to scale horizontally. Therefore, before each special occasion, our team used to scale the RDS instance by increasing its resources and scale it down after the event. In alignment with our strategy of constantly optimizing the client's infrastructure and to minimize the manual intervention of our operations team, we migrated from Amazon RDS for MySQL to Amazon AURORA MySQL compatible. This change allowed the automatic scaling of the database layer each time the application rushes for read operations. It also boosted the overall platform performance. Finally, by leveraging services from AWS, we were able to deliver in no time an efficient and reliable solution that fits our clients' needs. We went through all the available options of hosting your database on AWS. And to help you choose the most suitable one for your projects, WISE would be happy to offer you a free cloud assessment to benefit from a high-level design and cost estimate tailored for your business needs. To claim this offer, contact our team on aws@wise-business.com before the end of this month. This presentation will be available for you at the end of this session. Don't forget to download it. Thank you all for your time today. If you would like more details about what was discussed today or to explore our services further, please visit our website.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to our session. Break free from commercial proprietary databases with Database Migration Service DMS from AWS. My name is Bashar Abdul Hadi. I'm the founder and CTO of KuwaitNet, and I'll be taking you through the session today. Our agenda, we will go through a little bit of the surge of data requirement and why to break free from proprietary databases, why specifically AWS, and we'll go through AWS Cloud Native Databases, and we'll go through some of the tools and services for migration offered by AWS, and why to work with a partner. Additionally, we will talk about our experience sharing with a success story that we had with DMS. Over the past 5 years, there has been an exponential growth of data. It has been estimated that the data grows 10 times every 5 years, driven by connected network devices such as smart devices and IoT. Additionally, microservices and analytics requirements has been increased by IT experts and audit firms. So a lot of devices such as IoT has been driving data for real-time monitoring and analytics, and this increases, of course, the data storage requirement. Additionally, the change driven by DevOps, the transformation and the transition for IT from DevOps has the rate of increased data requirement for logging and auditing, for example. The cloud journey has multiple paths. We will today speak about one of them, which is the replatforming. Basically, replatforming is how to lift and reshape your underlying infrastructure, such as databases, using the migration tools available from AWS. Commercial databases has been the default choice for many application development for many years. And there has been various reasons why developers are stuck, for example, with these commercial databases. One of them, the developers knows the technology. Purchasing departments has an existing contract which they would like to renew, and they could, for example, handle the job. The commercial database basically handles the job in front of them. They don't need to look and seek for more information and new technologies. A question we could ask ourselves: why would we break free from these commercial databases? It's basically the faster development speed, more resilience application. A lot of new application uses new type of databases. Breaking free from restrictive annual contracts. In case if you would like to change in the middle of a contract, you are having the freedom, saving, of course, money on licensing and operating expenses. And developers could learn new technologies such as NoSQL databases. Some of the challenges that developers or today we face on on-premise databases, basically it's the hardware and the software installations, database configuration, patching, and backups. You require a database administrator to be on site or to be on the team to handle this for you. Whenever you want to set up a cluster and data replication for high availability, it's a bit of a challenge. Capacity planning and scaling for clusters, whenever there is a data surge or a spike of the traffic on a specific period of the year, you have to plan this ahead in advance. The cons of commercial proprietary databases: basically it's costly, it's proprietary, you have a vendor lock-in, complex licensing, and potential audit risk and penalty. A lot of licensing models of commercial databases are not clear how to handle the licensing when it comes from on-premise and moving to cloud. Why would somebody think of breaking free with AWS, for example? Performance at scale. It has been estimated, whenever you migrate to, for example, on AURORA database, it has been estimated from 3 to 5 times the performance compared to an existing database. It's a fully managed. You don't require to have a DBA on the team to manage things for you. You don't have to plan how to scale up or scale down whenever there is a spike. Everything is done automatically. Of course, it's cost effective. It has been estimated it's 1/10 of the cost of commercial databases. And reliability is one of the core things of cloud databases on AWS. It's safeguarded, it can scale anytime, and of course it's secure. You don't need to care about availability and scalability or even backups. There are factors to consider when breaking free from proprietary databases. Important factors to consider are the type of cloud-native database that you want to use and the process you will use to migrate your data, choosing the right cloud-native database type, and choosing a migration process. With AWS native databases, we provide multiple, broad set of selection of built-in databases that to allow you to save, grow, and innovate faster. The first, let's say, path is the relational databases. Basically, for traditional applications, ERPs, CRMs, or even e-commerce, the AWS service provided is the AWS AURORA, which is a MySQL and PostgreSQL compatible. AWS RDS, which is a Postgre, MySQL, MariaDB, even Oracle and SQL Server replacement. And of course, there are the Amazon Redshift, which is a data warehouse type. On the other side, we have the NoSQL databases, or a key value. It's for high traffic web apps, e-commerce systems, gaming for scores, storage and gaming applications. The offered service from AWS is AWS DynamoDB, which is a NoSQL database type. When it comes to AWS services and tools to help you to migrate to AWS Cloud Native Database, There is the AWS Database Migration Service, which is an easy and a secure way to migrate and replicate your database from on-premise to the cloud. It can migrate between different database engines. The source database remains fully operational during the migration. It's a very low cost and global availability. It costs as low as $3 per terabyte to migrate, to use the tool. On the other side, we have the AWS SCT, the Schema Conversion tool, which basically automates the schema conversion, including database structure. Minimal effort is required to performing the schema rewrite and allowing the conversion from commercial to open source databases. There are multiple types of how to migrate from a database to a database. The first type is the homogeneous. Basically, you have a specific database type on your premise, and you utilizing AWS DMS to migrate it on a similar equivalent on the cloud. And we have heterogeneous. Basically, you have a MySQL database on premise using AWS schema conversion tool, then AWS database migration tool. You convert that to a different type of a database, for example, AWS AURORA. And there is to migrate to an AWS alternative. For example, you have a MongoDB on-premise using AWS Data Migration Service. You migrate that to AWS DocumentDB with a MongoDB compatibility, for example. Of course, using SCT, basically you have your source database and using the conversion tool to migrate the data from on-premise. For example, it's an Oracle to AWS Aurora or PostgreSQL or even MySQL. For example, you have a Cassandra implementation on-premise and you want to migrate that to AWS DynamoDB. The migration journey, basically, you have one of the examples. You're running an Oracle database, on-premise, then utilizing AWS SCT and DMS to migrate to AWS Aurora MySQL, for example. You've lowered your costs. It's very cost effective. You've moved from proprietary to an open source alternative, whereas there is no licensing restrictions, and it's fully managed by AWS. You don't require the database administrators, with a very minimal downtime during the migration. As you can see on this slide, AWS DMS has been used for more than 350,000 successful database migration. Many customers have accelerated their migration using AWS cloud databases because they want the benefits of reduced CapEx and OpEx, increased the IT staff productivity, the scalability, modern and open architecture, pay-as-you-go model, unequal pace of innovation at AWS. For example, on Samsung, they have migrated more than 1.1 billion users from an Oracle to AWS Aurora, which reduced their monthly database cost by more than 45%. Okay, Bashar, everything is beautiful. I like the service. I want to use AWS DMS, but I like the resources to utilize AWS DMS or their tools available. And this is where we jump in. AWS empowers their partners such as KuwaitNet, where they are focusing on the tools and the processes and empowering their infrastructure and allowing partners like KuwaitNet to jump in and help customers with their migration journey. Basically, some of the benefits that a customer can benefit when working with a partner is the expertise. You have a subject matter expert on the team. We're sitting next door. Whenever you want, you just we're a phone call away. The simplicity of handing over the experienced team to migrate the database, and the continuous improvement. To be a certified AWS partner with a specific PowerPoint and technologies, we need to stay up to date with all the technologies and the certification required to empower our team. For that, I would like to come to sharing a success story that we had during this pandemic. There have been a lot of jumps for government services that has migrated from on-premise to the cloud because of the need of online distance learning or offering additional services online for the public. And the pandemic was a great example of proving that the cloud and these tools and technologies are the future. One of our customers are running Moodle, which is a learning management system on-premise, running on a Windows operating system with an MS SQL database. When this pandemic started, they had several pain points. One of them is the performance issue while fetching the data from the database, unable to handle the sudden traffic spike. This traffic spike has jumped because everyone was in the middle of their school and they said you need to take your exams online, you're having your classes online. The website used to load very slow because of the number of students, and the infrastructure was end of life. And to jump and increase the hardware in the government, you go through a procurement cycle, tendering process, and the costly licensing if you want to change during the contract, so it's very heavy. They had 75,000 students running on this implementation, which we were unable to handle. So what we did, we created an AWS environment with an application load balancer over EC2 instances and an RDS of MySQL. We installed Moodle with the same version of the production environment. Then we converted MySQL RDS to Aurora and created a new server on EC2, Windows Server, and we installed MS SQL with the same version on-premise production environment. Then using DMS, we connected MS SQL to EC2 and Aurora RDS. So using the truncate before load while DMS migration to empty the vanilla implementation of Moodle. During that, of course, we had Moodle on-premise to be on the maintenance mode to take a final dump before the migration. What was the results? We had a significant improvement on the overall performance, and there is no more hassle of licensing bill. They could scale up, scale down, depending on the load. During off-peak, they could lower the environment. During exams or when the students are online during the mornings, the entire infrastructure increases. We handled more than 25,000 concurrent users, where they weren't able to handle 250 users concurrently previously. Please feel free to ask your questions, and we'll try to handle them during the session. If not, myself and my colleagues will be ready to answer your questions, and we'll get back to you with answers. Please feel free to go through the remaining slides of the presentation, which has more products and services of KuwaitNet. And please don't hesitate to contact us using our website or aws@kuwaitnet.com email address. Thank you very much, and looking forward to working with you. Best regards.
بسم الله وأهلا بكم في Scalable Workload on AWS. أنا مؤمن هاني Senior Solution Architect و Multi Cloud Consultant. دي بعض السيرتيفيكيشنز اللي أنا حاصل عليها في AWS ومايكروسوفت وغيرها. الأجندة بتاعتنا إن شاء الله هنتكلم على ليه AWS والسكالابيليتي on AWS، وهنعرف إيه هي الأوتو سكيلينج AWS أوتو سكيلينج، والأوتو سكيلينج دي إحنا بنحتاجها لإيه وليه أصلا هنشغلها. هنشوف الفيتشرز الخاصة بالأوتو سكيلينج، وهنشوف تكنولوجيز مهمة جدا بتنتجريت مع الماشين ليرنينج اللي هي ال AWS Predictive Scaling. وآخر حاجة هنتكلم على البارتنرشيب بين ال AWS والنافذة. ليه AWS؟ AWS عندها سيرفيسز كتيرة جدا وفي فانكشناليتي عالية جدا وفي انتجريشن كبير ما بين السيرفيسز اللي بتقدمها. AWS عندها بارتنرز كتيرة جدا وكاستمرز كتيرة جدا worldwide. AWS is a most secure infrastructure أو data center، أو لو قلنا شركة فهي most secure company يعني worldwide. AWS هي من اكثر الشركات تطورا ان هي بتقدم سيرفيسز، والسيرفيس دي دايما اب تو ديت. AWS عندها اكسبيرتيز في كل حته في العالم في كذا تخصص، وفي سبيشاليزيشنز في تخصصات كتيره جدا. فور اكزامبل لو قلنا في ناس بتشتغل فور ساب هانا اون AWS، في ناس بتشتغل في السكيورتي فقط، في ناس بتشتغل في الويندوز ورك لودز فقط and so on. الكلاود كومبيوتنج ليدرشيب عندنا AWS تعتبر هي التوب في الكلاود كومبيوتنج على مستوى العالم، وده بيزد اون طبعا جارتنر ريبورتس. يجي بعديها مايكروسوفت وجوجل من الثلاثه الليدرز، ولكن AWS بتسبقهم طبعا بمراحل. دي خريطه العالم. AWS موجوده في كل حته زي ما حضراتكم شايفين. دي داتا سنترز موجوده حاليا وفي ريجونز، ودي اللون اللي هو الاورنج ده دي الداتا سنترز اللي جايه الايام القادمه ان شاء الله. فدي تعتبر خريطه العالم. لما انا بقول انا عايز احط الداتا بتاعتي فين، ببدا ابص على الخريطه كده وبشوف انا مكاني فين وعاوز احط الداتا بتاعتي فين. AWS مش مجرد داتا سنتر موجوده بنحط فيها الداتا بتاعتنا وخلاص. AWS داتا سنتر هي السكيور عموما. في داتا لايرنج معموله، في انفراستراكشر لايرنج، في عندي اكسس لايرنج على السيرفيس بتاعتي. عندي طبعا في شركات بتعمل عليا اوديت على AWS عشان تقول اذا كنت انا security compliance or not، عشان وده ريبورتس بابليك ريبورتس بتعرض للجميع. بعتمد الطاقه البديله او الطاقه النظيفه في ان انا بمد الداتا سنترز بتاعتي، وبختار الداتا سنتر دايما بعنايه، مش بحطها في اماكن فيها زلازل او هكذا. وحتى لو ده بيحصل دايما انا بكونسيدر الكوارث الطبيعيه وانا ببني الداتا سنتر بتاعي، ده طبيعي. طبعا لما حضرتك بتطلع ل AWS بتفكر وانا هدفع ازاي. في AWS انت بتدفع بموديل اسمه Pay as you go، او تعمل reserved instance، ويمكن في بعض السيرفيس كمان فري. البي از يو جو ان حضرتك بتدفع فقط اللي انت محتاجه. يعني انا دلوقتي لو انا اون بريم في الشركه عندي محتاج اعمل اكستشينج او شير بوينت سيرفر، انا هشتري سيرفر. ممكن كمان سنه اقول انا مش محتاج السيرفيس دي وعندي بديل ليها، ولكن السيرفر انا دفعت ثمنه اب فرونت، فبالتالي هيقعد معايا 3 أو 5 سنين قدام، انا دافع ثمنه خلاص. فاصبح كمان بقى في تقيد اكتر بان انا لازم ابقى معتمد على السيرفيس دي. البي از يو جو انا بدفع فقط اللي انا محتاجه، واقدر اعمل ريسايزنج للريسورس اللي انا باخده. لو 8 جيجا رام فور اكزامبل مثلا ب $100، فانا ممكن اخليهم 4 جيجا بكره وادفع 50 فقط. ممكن اقول لو هي ب $100 ال 8 جيجا، فانا هعمل كوميتمنت اجريمنت مع AWS، اقول لهم انا هاخد السيرفيس دي لمده سنه، فبالتالي ممكن ينزل لي فيها 30% من التكلفه الكليه بتاعتها، وبدفع برضه مانثلي. او ان انا اقول له 3 سنين لو السيرفيس دي سيرفيس كبيره وهتقعد معايا وقت كبير بنفس السايز ده، وممكن ينزل لي اب تو 75% مثلا. وفي عندي سيرفيسز فور فري، في عندي سيرفيسز ممكن احط فيها ستور فيها بالتيرا بايتس وادفع ارقام زهيده جدا. ال AWS Auto Scaling من الحاجات المهمه جدا، ولازم نكون واخدين بالنا منها واحنا بنديبلوي اي سوليوشن على AWS. لو انا عندي سيرفيس، السيرفيس دي بتشتغل كل اسبوع لمده فور اكزامبل 4 ايام او 5 ايام، وبيجي فيه 2 days ويك اند، فبالتالي انا عندي في during الويك اند ده انا ما بستخدمش السيرفيس بشكل كامل. فانا هنا لو انا عندي فور اكزامبل عندي EC2، الاي سي 2 دي مفيش عليها او جه عليها ضغط شغل زياده شويه، في ديماند انكريز زياده، فبالتالي بيحصل تريجر بيطلع يقول والله احنا محتاجين انستنس ثانيه تسبورت الاكزيستنج انستنس، لان مثلا ممكن نقول الانستنس الواحده كانت بتسبورت 10000 يوزر كونكارنت، دلوقتي انا عندي 20000 يوزر، فاذا المعادله بسيطه جدا بتقول ان انا محتاج كمان EC2. طب لو انا كمان العدد ده زاد وصل مثلا 7000 كمان، ده ممكن ابقى انا محتاج ماشين كمان، فبالتالي انا ممكن اعمل انكريز للنمبر اوف EC2s اللي عندي. طيب لو انا بقى اصلا انا عندي الترافيك خلاص، انا في البيك دلوقتي، ولكن بدات الترافيك دي تقل عندي بيزد اون الميتريكس، لو قلت والله هي قلت لمده نص ساعه الترافيك بدا يقل، فخلاص ابدا على طول اعمل لي ديموت لماشين من اللي موجودين عندي. طيب لو هو قل اكتر من كده، ابدا برضه شيل واحده من الانستنس اللي موجوده عندي، دي اسمها سكيل داون. لو انا عندي هاي افيلابيلتي سوليوشنز زي اللود بالانسر مثلا موجود عندي، الالاستيك لود بالانسر او الابلكيشن لود بالانسر، وطبعا الماشين دي هتدخل وتبقى سيرفيس تحت اللود بالانسر، فاوتوماتيك اللود بالانسر بيديتكت اذا كانت الماشين دي اكتف ونقدر نعمل لود بالانسنج عليها او لا. ولما بيحصل ديموت اوتوماتيك اللود بالانسر بيشيلها من الجروب بتاعته اللي هو بيعمل عليها بالانس. البنفيتس اللي احنا ممكن نحصل عليها لو احنا شغلنا الاوتو سكيلينج بشكل عام، ان احنا بندفع فقط اللي احنا محتاجينه. ويمكن احنا قلنا من شويه ان البي از يو جو موديل بيدفعني اللي انا محتاجه از سيرفيس، ولكن ممكن السيرفيس اللي انا واخدها دي هي مش توتالي كونسيومد، فانا هنا بتدخل في التفاصيل ان انا اقلل التكلفه حتى بتاعت السيرفيس اللي انا خلاص كوميتد عليها وان انا هاخدها، لا انا ممكن ابدا اقلل التكلفه معاها. تمام، في ان انا اشوف ابقى ماتشد وابقى الاستيك مع الديماند بتاعي ومع الريسورسز الحاليه اللي موجوده عندي. الاوتو سكيلينج سهله جدا ان انا اعمل لها سكيل اب وسكيل داون بيزد اون اليوتيلايزيشنز اللي بيحصل على السيرفيس والديماند. ان انا مش محتاج اتدخل بشكل بشري عشان اقول السيرفيس محتاجه تعمل سكيل اب او سكيل داون. تمام، انا مش محتاج برضه احدد البرفورمانس هيبقى شكله ايه، انا ممكن احدد الميتريكس فقط، وممكن احدد الماكسيمم سكيل عشان ما يزيدش عنه لو في اتاك بتحصل او حاجه، وبيعمل كونسيوم يعني للسيرفيس بتاعتي، ما يعملش انكريز عليا بلا داعي. ممكن انتجريت حاجه زي الماشين ليرنينج هنا في ان هي اتنبأ بالديماند الزائد عندي، وبالتالي يحصل سكيلينج اب وسكيلينج داون. وده اللي احنا بنعكسه بقى في موضوع الايه الفرق بين الاكتوال ديماند والفيكسد كاباسيتي. ان انا مش محتاج EC2 فور اكزامبل تكون شغاله معايا فور اكزامبل 8 جي بي رام، وانا مش محتاجها ال 8 دي غير مثلا يوم واحد في الشهر، فانا ليه ادفع ال 8 طول الوقت فور اكزامبل؟ او ليه انا محتاج 2 EC2 رغم ان انا محتاج واحده فقط، ومحتاج الاثنين دول في يوم واحد في الشهر او يومين فقط. فده اللي احنا بنتكلم فيه، هي دي الالاستيك مع الاوتو سكيلينج. ان انا زي ما حضراتكم شايفين هنا انا مش عاوز انتربت السيرفيس وفي نفس الوقت مش عاوز ادفع تكلفه عاليه. فالميزه في الاوتو سكيلينج ان انا ببقى الاستيك على قد الديماند، على قد ما بحط سيرفيسز عندي وبعمل لها سكيل اب، على قد الديماند لو قل حصل له ديكريز، فانا ببدا انزل بالسيرفيسز بتاعتي اللي انا مقدمها. ازاي انا اقول يلا انا عاوز اعمل اوتو سكيلينج دلوقتي؟ الموضوع ليه اكسرسايز بسيط انا بعمله، ان انا اول بشوف الابلكيشنز الموجوده عندي والبرفورمانس بتاعتها والكاباسيتي والنمبر اوف كونكرنت يوزرز، وببدا اعمل تكنيكال ديسكفر على الكومبوننت الموجوده عندي، وببدا كده بشوف هو انا محتاج السكيل اب بتاعي ده امتى، او محتاجه بانهي صوره، وايه الماكسيمم، لانه ممكن يحصل سكيل اب ممكن يبقى بيحصل عليها ديدوس اتاك مثلا فور اكزامبل، والديدوس اتاك ده بيخلي الديماند عندي عالي، فبالتالي السيرفيس بيبدا يحصل فيها ان هي كل شويه بتكبر، بيحصل سكيل اب اكتر. فبالتالي كل ده بيزود عليها في الكوست with nothing. السيرفيس في الاخر مش شغاله صح، يعني السيرفيس كده مش شغاله صح. فانا اقدر احط ماكسيموم عشان افويد اي هاسل ممكن يحصل في السيستم انسايد السيستم نفسه يأفكت عليها از كوست. تمام. وفي نفس الوقت ببدا اشوف التكلفه دي، انا عاوز يبقى المعيار بتاعي ان انا احسن في البرفورمانس اكتر، ولا المعيار بتاعي ان انا عاوز احسن في الكوست، ولا الاثنين مع بعض. وبعد كده بقدر اعمل مونيتورنج واشوف الاداء بتاع الاوتو سكيلينج او السكالابيلتي اوبشنز اللي انا اشتغلت بيها دي شكله ايه، ووفر لي ايه از كوست، وحسن لي البرفورمانس بانهي شكل في الايام اللي فيها بيك او ضغط او فيها ديماند زائد على السيرفيسز بتاعتي. في الوضع الحالي AWS بتعمل اوتو سكيلينج على كذا سيرفيس، مش سيرفيس واحده، مش EC2 فقط. احنا ممكن نشغلها على EC2 سبوت او EC2 نعمل جروب اوتو سكيلينج جروبس. ممكن نشغلها مع الكونتينرز، انا ممكن اسبورت الداينامو دي بي، انا ممكن اسبورت الاورا داتابيز. فكل دي سيرفيسز. وطبعا ممكن يبقى كلامي حاليا ده قديم شويه، لو حد بيشوف الفيديوز او بيسمعني في المستقبل، يعني اكيد في سيرفيس ثانيه هتضاف للسكالابيلتي اون AWS عموما. من الحاجات اللطيفه جدا ال AWS Predictive Scaling، ان انا اقدر اعمل سكيل اب وسكيل داون بيزد اون هيستوريكال داتا، بيزد اون اللي حصل في الايام اللي فاتت. فور اكزامبل لو انا عندي الاسبوع بتاعي او الشهر بتاعي اول 5 ايام، او ممكن نقول مثلا انا كل يوم انا شوب ببيع كوفي مثلا، وكل يوم الصبح الناس وهي رايحه الشغل بيبقى في ريكويستس عندي زياده، لان الناس كلها رايحه تشرب كوفي الصبح، فبالتالي انا عندي الديماند زاد قوي. فبيزد اون ده يحصل فوركاستنج للي بيحصل ديلي. طبعا ما عدا يوم الجمعه والسبت طول اليوم في لود عندي زياده، او ممكن نقول من بعد الساعه 5 في لود عندي زياده. فبالتالي اوتوماتيك هنا انا بانتجريت مع الماشين ليرنينج ان انا بقدر اتخيل ايه اللي هيحصل عندي بيزد اون الهيستوريكال داتا، وبعد كده باخد اكشن قبل اصلا بسكادول الاكشن بتاعي ان انا اعمل سكيل اب او سكيل داون قبل التايم او الديماند تايم ما يجي معايا. ازاي البرودكتيف سكيلينج بتشتغل؟ هي بتشوف طبعا بتعمل فوركاستنج زي ما قلنا، وبعد كده بتشوف احنا هنعمل السكيلينج سكيل اب او سكيل داون امتى، بيزد اون تايمنج محدد كان بيحصل فيه على طول مثلا ديماندز زياده او ديماندز اقل، وبناء عليه بيبدا ياخد اكشن، وبنحدد فيه الماكسيمم كاباسيتي زي ما قلنا عشان نافويد اي ريسك ممكن يحصل في الحته دي، او ممكن يكون كان عندي اتاك قبل كده فزود عندي النمبر اوف سيرفيسز. فهنا لا، انا هعمل احجام ليه، انا عارف ان انا الماكسيمم بتاعي فور اكزامبل 3 انستنس، فانا مش هزود عن 3 انستنس. النافذه انفورميشن تكنولوجي بارتنرشيب مع AWS. النافذه تعتبر استراتيجيك بارتنر ل AWS. النافذه عندنا 3 سايتس في المملكه العربيه السعوديه، في الرياض وفي الدمام وفي جده، وفي كمان عندنا في القاهره. ممكن تطلعوا على انفورميشنز اكتر عن البارتنرشيب بتاعه النافذه مع AWS من اللينك الموجود. النافذه انفورميشن تكنولوجي من اقدم الشركات اللي موجوده في المملكه العربيه السعوديه. النافذه بتقدر تقدم IT consultation services واركتكت سيرفيسز، وبتقدم IT solutions وبروفيشنال سيرفيس، وكمان في SLA IT support 24/7 based on different workloads. وكمان النافذه بتقدر تقدم الفوليوم لايسنس لديفرنت فيندورز او IT فيندورز. اتمنى تكونوا استمتعتم معانا، ولو عند حضراتكم اي اسئله من فضلكم حطوها في الشات بوكس وان شاء الله هنرد عليها. النافذه سوليوشن ستوري احب اعرضها على حضراتكم. بالنسبه للنافذه، النافذه زي ما قلنا هي من الشركات القدامى في المملكه العربيه السعوديه في التخصص بتاعنا او في المجال بتاعنا، تحديدا في جزء الانفراستراكشر وجزء السكيورتي والفوليوم لايسنس. بعد كده النافذه اتطورت جدا ودخلت في الجزء الخاص بالاي تي سيرفيس مانجمنت والانتربرايز سبورت. دي من الحاجات اللي بتميز النافذه حاليا، والبيزنس بلاتفورم. وحاليا احنا متوجهين جدا وبقوه ناحيه الفيجواليزيشنز والبيج داتا. انفورميشن تكنولوجي هي بارتنر لتوب اي تي فيندورز الموجودين في العالم حاليا. زي ما حضراتكم شايفين كاستمر ريفرنس بتاعت النافذه اشتغلت مع اكتر من 2000 كاستمر داخل المملكه العربيه السعوديه، ودي عينه من الكاستمرز الموجودين. طبعا كلها اماكن مهمه جدا، government، المانيفاكتشرنج طبعا، ترانسبورتيشن. وطبعا نأمل اللوجو بتاع حضراتكم من ضمن الكاستمر ريفرنس. دي الكونتاكتس بتاعتنا. نتمنى تزوروا الويب سايت بتاعنا وتتواصلوا معنا. دي الأفرع الخاصة بينا سواء داخل المملكة العربية السعودية أو في القاهرة. شكرا جزيلا.